So currently, and there will be a video on this because I fucking hate Nikki Ash. I feel like she sucks. Her character before sucked because it got carried by the charisma and actual good acting of Alexa Bliss. I Big E, like before New Day, already people could have saw frontal. Like the New Day has been a benefit to extend the character of Big E, but it also showed a big detriment as Big E got a bit too flamboyant for me. Uh, too silly and still cartoony. If you want to take a giant powerlifting black dude with that can actually talk. I'm not gonna say that Biggie is a boring jobber. The guy actually has a potential to be a pretty radical star. Like I can actually see the positives in Biggie, even though people know that the New Day is kind of homosexual in a certain way. But bro, like whenever you look at Biggie, you can say that he talks like he's an intelligent person. He can actually convey some physical charisma. Can actually gets the crowd jumping whenever he gives the New Day entrance. And whenever Big Kofi was world champion, guess who had the best things to say? Big E. He's more profitable. I can see more upside, and it's not because he's big. Big is just the piece of it. It's like whenever you try to see a woman, and you're like, she had the ass and tits, but that's always the extra. Whatever that bitch is about to say, that shows that she's a keeper. Just knowing that's the same thing with a pro wrestler. But just knowing like Biggie still is probably gonna keep up the same New Day tripe and try to play the generic babyface. That's the only doubt I have over Biggie being Money in the Bank. Even though I don't mind Biggie, I would actually try to make him more of a star and try to build over more to his lifting and his more energetic personality. If you want to make him more convasive to be a babyface to push for the world titles. So there's actual potential, even though not a lot of people have that much stock over Big E. But you got to blame the New Day for all the disingenuous gay shit he does, and most of his personality and social media. Let's just get that straight. What he did to Jackson Riker was too immature, and just knowing that Nikki Ash is Money in the Bank and they don't have that much stock on her. They just make her cash in immediately to the conveyingness of no pop, and knowing that most of her high spots on the Money in the Bank pay per view for her even winning it, no build up, cause Nikki Ash sucks. Nikki Cross sucks. She gets over other people. Like the only thing that people convey over Nikki Ash or slash Nikki Cross is just that other people make her look better. If it wasn't for sanity, she wouldn't convey that much of a mythos into being like the crazy female out of the group. If it wasn't for Alexa Bliss, she wouldn't be the person to foil over her to make her segments a bit better. And now she needs to be carried over by Alexa Bliss again because they're probably going to continue a feud with her. Or Charlotte, seeing that they made her cash in, no one cares. They did that over in the last minute because they're about to do another mid card fest because Rhea Ripley and Charlotte barely get good matches. And there's no way to convey that over on TV thanks these women already have 50-50s on pay per view. It's like doing Orton and Cena on Raw. Like, we know it's going to end in a DQ to just build over to the pay per view match. We all know that. So, that's my opinion. I don't really care. But Big E is obviously the better Money in the Bank winner. Even though Asuka was the better Money in the Bank winner the last year, but who really remembers the corporate ladder YouTube skit camera made shitfest that was the Money in the Bank ladder match? Like that was too comedic for my taste. Even though you're trying to push over many of these guys up in a chance to be main eventers, and you give it to Otis because he was over for like a few months, and Asuka just for the sake because we have no woman that we have that can actually push a tenured in the roster right now. And that's a sad thing to say. And I don't like saying that because I actually want something positive to say whenever I look at WWE. But when they force it over, we all know that's going to be temporary. That's why I'm a bit more critical and a bit more harsher in my opinions about most of the product or what happens around pro wrestling because we know it's going to be a temporary fix. It's like in a toxic relationship, and you get one nice thing for your lady or whatever your boyfriend. If you're not a human being, I'm joking, but still, like that one thing is gonna happen 1 in a million times, and you only feel like the bad shit is the most interesting part of the relationship. And if you do, it's the same thing like wrestling fans thinking that the wrestling matters in a show, and then you go insane, and then you just stop and leave. Okay, and that's how a toxic relationship happens too. Literally, you can just see it, you can notice it. Nikki Ash didn't need to be women's Money in the Bank winner. You could have just dropped it over to Alexa because she actually can actually do storylines. Like she actually has a gimmick that I at least garners some semblance of headlines. Or Liv Morgan, even though I know the direction that they have her going, just going 50-50, kind of treating her over as a lower mid carder. Wouldn't consider anything. Same thing with Lita Vega or Natalia and Tamina or Naomi. And Asuka would just be rushing it just for her to do nothing with the belt again. So I guess the most realistic version was either Nikki Ash, and that disgusts me. Other than that, yeah, Big E won this one. I don't really care. Other than other than saying other than that, thank you for watching. That's it for me.